We've seen a lot of those ponga boats wash up here along the San Diego coastline. But hey, what exactly is a ponga boat? It's a fair question, and for that answer and more, I turn to Border Patrol agent Jacob McIsaac. What is a ponga boat?
Well, a ponga boat is essentially just an open hold fishing vessel. They're very small. Typically, they're powered by some sort of an outboard motor.
How can you spot a ponga boat?
Well, they're just very small vessels. They don't necessarily look like a pleasure craft or like a wakeboarding boat or anything like that. They're just very small. They're open hold, which means there's no cabin, there's no deck you can go below or anything like that. They're honestly, from an outward appearance, they just don't look like they belong out on the ocean.
What are they sometimes being used for?
We've been seeing those used pretty heavily in the maritime environment for human smuggling.
Why might human smugglers use ponga boats?
It would be speculation, but I would say maybe economics, right? I mean, if they end up losing the boat, a lot of times when they're smuggled in these boats, the boats end up making landfall and they just abandon it there on the beach. And so from an economic perspective, it's probably the most practical.
What are the safety risks?
Some of these vessels are going as far north as Ventura County, and they're doing that without any type of lighting or navigation. And it's just couple that with the unpredictability of the Pacific Ocean. It's a recipe for disaster. So the operators will have the migrants jump out in the surf zone and attempt to swim to shore. And unfortunately, we have experienced fatalities in the maritime environment because of that.
How many people can fit on a ponga boat?
I mean, they vary in terms of like actual capacity. What I would say would be like comfortable on there would maybe be 4 to 5 people. What we typically encounter is 15 to 20, sometimes upwards of 20.
According to Border Patrol, how common are these ponga boats?
Last year was a record year for apprehensions in the maritime environment with just shy of 1,300. This fiscal year, we're actually approaching 1,900. And even though that's a relatively small percentage in terms of our total apprehensions here in San Diego sector, because of the dangers associated with maritime environment, it's particularly alarming.
How much does it cost migrants?
Well, maritime smuggling, particularly, the fees are pretty higher compared to what we see on the land environment, sometimes upwards of $15,000, which it typically consists of like a deposit. And then the remainder of the balance would be either worked off or paid after a successful arrival.
Are children on these ponga boats?
Typically, if we do see children, they're older, like later teens. Still concerning, sometimes unaccompanied, sometimes with a family member.
McIsaac also said that if you see anything suspicious out in the water, people might be in danger. If you have any concerns, he recommends that you call the phone number below. I'm Allison Royal for News 8.